You probably think you understand money, but what if I told you there's a kind of glitch in your brain? A 300-year-old mistaken thinking that secretly controls every single financial decision you make. We're talking everything from buying a coffee to managing your entire life's savings.
Okay, let's just start with a really simple scenario. Picture two people. On paper, they look identical. Both of them have a net worth of exactly $500,000. Seems totally equal, right?
But now, let's add one little piece of context that changes absolutely everything. Person A started out the year with $700,000, so they've lost a fortune. Meanwhile, person B, they started with just $300,000 and have had, well, the best year of their life. All of a sudden, that simple picture gets a lot more complicated. They have the exact same amount of money in the bank. So how is it that one of them feels like a total failure while the other feels like they're on top of the world? This very question puzzled thinkers for centuries, and believe me, the answer is going to change the way you look at your own wallet forever.
To get to the bottom of this, we actually have to go back in time, way back. We're talking nearly 300 years.
So this is where we meet the first key player in our story, a brilliant mathematician named Daniel Bernoulli. See, back in the 1700s, he got completely obsessed with this one question. How do we really make choices when it comes to money? You have to understand, at the time, everyone's belief was pretty simple, pretty logical. More money means more happiness, period. Every single dollar you get adds the same little dose of joy, a perfect straight line going up. But Bernoulli, he looked at this and thought, hang on a second, that's just not how people actually behave. He realized that human emotion just didn't fit into this neat, tidy, logical box. So he introduced this truly revolutionary idea called utility. He basically argued that we shouldn't be measuring the dollar amount itself, but the satisfaction or the benefit that money gives a person. It's not about the number, it's all about the impact.
Here's how Bernoulli's idea actually works in the real world. $100 to someone who only has $500 to their name, that's a huge deal. It could be groceries for a whole month. But to a millionaire, that same $100 barely even registers. Its utility, its satisfaction level is way, way lower. And you know what? This idea was genius. It explains so much about how we act with our money that for 300 years, pretty much everyone thought Bernoulli had solved it. Case closed. But what if I told you there was a massive, fatal flaw hiding in plain sight this whole time? Because while Bernoulli's theory was a huge leap forward, it had this one critical, hidden blind spot. And that flaw? It brings us right back to our original mystery. Okay, remember our two people from the beginning? If you follow pure utility theory, since they both have $500,000, their level of satisfaction, their utility, should be completely identical. They should feel exactly the same about their wealth. But we all know better than that, don't we? One person is still reeling from a huge loss, and the other one is riding this incredible high from a massive win. Do you really believe they feel the same? Of course not. It's not even in the same ballpark. One person feels crushed, and the other feels ecstatic. They have the same final amount of wealth, but completely different emotional realities. And right here, at this very point, Bernoulli's 300-year-old theory just completely falls apart. So what was the missing piece of the puzzle? Well, it took modern psychology to finally uncover the hidden rule that's secretly running our financial minds. Here it is. This is the crucial detail Bernoulli missed. He thought we cared about our absolute level of wealth, the final number. But we don't. Our brains are hardwired to care intensely about the changes in our wealth. It's the journey, the gains, and the losses that truly shapes how we feel. And we judge all these changes against something called a reference point. Think of it like a starting line. It could be the money we had yesterday, or what we expected to have, or even what our neighbor has. It's the silent anchor for all of our financial feelings. And this leads to this really strange imbalance in our brains. Gaining $1,000, yeah, that feels pretty good. But losing that exact same $1,000, that feels awful. The pain of the loss is so much stronger than the pleasure of the gain. Two psychologists, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, finally gave this a name: loss aversion. Their incredible research proved that losses have more than double the psychological sting of an equivalent gain. And this reveals a fundamental truth. When it comes to money, we're not thinking machines. We are feeling machines. Now, this isn't just some neat psychological trick. This is the basic operating system that controls your financial life every single day. Just think about it. It's why we hold on to a losing stock, just terrified to make that loss real. It's why losing a $50 bill absolutely ruins your day, but finding one just feels kind of nice. And it's why gamblers will risk everything they have to win back what they've lost. It's the deep psychological reason the house always wins. So let's just bring this all together. Bernoulli wasn't wrong. He just told half of the story. He gave us a perfect explanation of how a logical human should think about money. But Kahneman and Tversky, they showed us the emotional and sometimes irrational truth of how we actually think. And maybe the scariest part of all this, most of the financial decisions you make, whether they're big or small, they aren't based on a cool, logical assessment of your total wealth. No, they're based on these powerful, invisible reference points, these anchors you might not even know are there, quietly pulling the strings. So I'll leave you with one final crucial question. The next time you go to make a choice about your money, just stop for a second and ask yourself, am I making this decision based on logic, or am I just being controlled by the silent, powerful fear of a potential loss?